Hello, it's Michael Whitehouse, the guy who knows the guy with your motivational minute. I want to talk to you about asking for help and the right and wrong ways to do it. To be successful in anything in life, you need to ask for help. You're going to need other people, right? I'm running Conference 21 in February. It's going to be an awesome event. First thing I need to do is ask people to be speakers. Now, the way I'm asking them for help is I'm giving them something. I'm saying, would you like to speak and have an opportunity to get in front of this audience? But I'm also going to be asking them to help promote it to their audience. This is standard, this is understood, and so it's not a difficult ask. For other things you might need to ask, you may be a little uncomfortable, but if you're asking the right way and asking for the right things, then you'll find it's not difficult at all. If you come to me as my friend and say, hey, I just posted my business website, would you mind sharing it on Facebook? Absolutely, I'll share on Facebook. If it's not something contentious, I'll share your business right now. You got something you want me to share? Put it in the comments. I'll share it. Absolutely, not a problem at all. But let me tell you where it gets complicated, especially around politics. So I know a lot of people. I know a lot of influential people and people who are trying to be more influential, which means I know a lot of people who run for office from all parties. I am a member of a particular party, and I'm not going to tell you which one. You can figure it out if you really want to, but I don't declare that publicly. I also don't publicly endorse candidates. Why? Because when you endorse one, you de-endorse the other one, and all of their supporters say, well, I don't like you either. And I'm about building networks and collaborating. And for the most part, in most local things, we're all pretty much on the same page with slight differences in agendas and way of doing things. So it's not like life or death. And I don't have that much influence. So if I endorse you, it's going to cut me off from a whole bunch of people, but it's also not going to actually do that much for you. Now, what I am willing to do, and I'm happy to do for my friends, is give them advice on building a brand on social media, as I'm doing right now. This face recognition thing is huge if you're running for office. People are like, oh, Joe Schmo, yeah, I see him around. I know him. I feel comfortable with him. I've seen his face a lot. Right? If I was to run for office, people would be like, oh, Michael Whitehouse, yeah, I've seen him around. He seems comfortable to me. Name recognition, very big. I would absolutely, anyone running for office who didn't have abhorrent views, who's a friend of mine, I'll give them a quick primer on how to do what I do and share that for free, no problem. Nobody asked me for that. I even offered that to a few people, and none of them took me up on it because they have their consultants and they have their advisors. So they wanted to listen to their professionals, and then they lost. But they wanted to listen to their professionals because, what do I know? I'm just a social media consultant and they're a social media coach and business coach. What do I know about marketing and advising? Okay, I'll get off my soapbox there. What they did want me to do was the things that their advisors were telling them. Oh, could you go on the newspaper? There's an article. I need you to put a comment on there that's positive towards me. Oh, could you share this thing from my website? Could you donate money? Could you stand out and hold a sign for me? Could you make phone calls for me? I don't have time to make phone calls. I don't have time to stand out and hold a sign, plus that's a public endorsement. Going on the paper website is a public endorsement. Sharing on Facebook is a public endorsement. And as I mentioned, I don't do public endorsements for very good reasons that I just explained. So, and some of these candidates are now upset that I didn't help them. Oh, I asked you for all this help, and where were you? I was offering to help you in the way I can help you from behind the scenes, and you didn't want it. So, when asking for help, and again, politics is like many other things, boiled down to a more intense form. But when asking for help in anything, make sure you're asking for the kind of help they can reasonably give you. When I'm asking speakers to help me with my conference by being in the conference, this gives them an inherent benefit, and of course they can help me that way. They're happy to do so because they get something out of it. If you ask me to share on Facebook, of course I can help you if it's not political and won't offend people. You want me to share your website on Facebook? Again, put it in the comments. You want me to share your website on Facebook to my audience? Of course, no big deal. That's not that hard. But if you're asking for my time, if you're asking for my reputation, if you're asking for my money, those are bigger asks. You need to recognize what is a big ask and what's a small ask. And for some people, sharing on Facebook's a bigger ask than for others. Some people are like, I don't. Facebook gives me anxiety attacks. That's a really hard thing for me. That's not the ask for them, but maybe they could make some phone calls for you, or they could proofread your paper, or whatever. Make sure the help you're asking for is something that's high value to you and low cost to them. High value to you, low cost to them. Very simple. I'm Michael Whitehouse. Thank you for watching. You can help me by joining my email list, guywhoknowsaguy.com/subscribe. That should be pretty low cost to you, and you get the benefit of getting emails in your mailbox telling you about events and programs and free education that I am offering. But if it is a big ask, that's okay. You don't have to do it. If you prefer Facebook groups, you might like the Confident, Connected, and Influential Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/confidentconnected. And I will see you tomorrow.